Joining us now to unpack the situation is Rob Lapsley, the president of the California Business Roundtable, which lobbies on behalf of some of the state's largest employers at the state capitol. Rob, thank you so much for making time for us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So, Rob, another year of California employers shouldering this federal debt. I mean, from your perspective, what does this mean for the business community in the state?
Well, it creates another disincentive to be able to scale and grow jobs here. We are in such a competitive environment. Remember, we had the highest unemployment rate in the nation, now at 5.9%. And so when you couple that with what employers have to pay, that nobody else has to pay in this country. They've all paid off their debt, except for California. And that debt is increasing annually, and now it's become a real problem for both large and small companies.
The governor last year told me he would try to make the case to the legislature to put billions toward the principal of this loan. The legislative analysts had suggested they refinance this so that businesses and essentially state taxpayers are putting money toward the principal together, shouldering this together, but nothing ever happened. So what is your response to that?
You know, so when you look at the history of this, and this is where it becomes very important for everyone to understand. Number one, coming out of COVID, right, we had a $20 billion deficit. Unemployment insurance is one of the most important programs that employers pay into, because when we have employees laid off, when we have recessions, this is our lifeline for employees so that we can take care of people. So when we saw COVID, it worked the way it should, but we had to borrow money from the federal government in order to be able to cover our costs. That's okay. In 2021, the Biden administration, to their credit, said you can take the money that we are giving you for these programs and you can use them to pay off the debt from the loans that we gave you. One of the greatest benefits during COVID that we had. Every other state paid off their loan, except for California. We asked for the governor, for the business community, to at least use $10 billion of that money to pay off. And then we said if it's $20 billion, they pay 10, we'll ultimately probably have to pay half. Well, it didn't happen. They have paid virtually nothing. To the governor's credit, the one thing he has done is he hasn't expanded unemployment insurance for what the legislature wanted, which was for striking workers. That would have blown a much bigger deficit into the program, but we're still stuck with $21 billion, and now the prices are quickly, or the costs are quickly going up that employers have to pay.
What are you expecting employers may have to pay 1, 2, 3 years from now if nothing is put toward the principal?
So where we started was they're paying approximately $42 per employee a couple years ago. Now this is what we call the greatest hidden tax from employers, and why they need to know this. So now we're at $130 per employee. And when you look at the potential penalties of what could be imposed from the federal government, from the Trump administration, if we don't get a handle in getting this paid off, we could be up well over $400 per employee. And so that's our fear. That's what we're paying into this. You know, every year we're paying our costs that keep going up. The state even has to pay about $700 million on the interest for that loan. And that's still part of the budget deficit that we're looking at too. So it's, when the state had $100 billion surplus, a couple years ago, the governor announced, that's where we hoped we could at least really get this paid down, and it didn't happen.
Legislative leaders have said this debt is in part the result of the state's broken unemployment insurance system. Do you agree with that? I
don't, because broken how, right? So right now we're at a deficit where employers are paying in $6.5 billion a year right now. Right now, benefits are going out at about $6.8 billion. So we actually have a little bit of an increased deficit every year because, again, we have the highest unemployment rate in the country. So, but when you say broken, the system's working, they're getting benefits, they get them on time, the employment EDD does their job. So it's really a matter of just trying to get the cost down so that it continues to be affordable for both employers and provide the protections for employees. If we have a major deficit, or excuse me, if we have a major recession, what's going to happen then? We're already in debt. We could go up to $40, $50 billion. Then what happens? Then we're really broken.
Yeah, California has been grappling with back-to-back budget deficits,
yes,
facing significant shortfalls in the years to come, according to the legislative analyst. So with the state being so strapped for cash, I mean, how hopeful are you that the state will put anything toward the principal of this loan?
So right now, again, we've gone from a surplus. We have this year an $18 billion structural budget deficit. The legislative analyst said we're looking at $30 billion the year after and ongoing years. So we're not, frankly, hopeful at all. We see this, again, as something there was a deliberate decision made from the leaders in the state for business to pay this. But it comes with, again, disincentives for business to want to stay here, grow here, create jobs here. So at this point, we keep asking. At this point, if there was a way to try and finance this, we would be at the table ready to have those discussions. But right now, we're not hopeful. That's why it's important for everyone to understand this hidden tax, and they have to, for employers, get ready to pay it while we try and figure out other solutions.
All right, Rob Lapsley with the California Business Roundtable. We really appreciate your insight. Thank you.
And thank you for your attention to this. Mm-hmm.